Nathan Robinson, a complete useless leech on the ass of society, posted himself, quote, "Live your life in such a way that people will be sad when you die." That was above a screen cap of a New York Times headline that said, "Torrent of hate for health insurance industry follows CEO's killing." That piece from the New York Times is all about people who apparently were perfectly fine with the murder of Brian Thompson on the streets of New York City.
In a development that I'm sure a lot of people did not expect, members of Ben Shapiro's own audience have been, well, lashing out against Shapiro and his commentary following, the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
Now, this is the one time, like, okay, let me not say this is the one time, but this is like, I'm going to agree with Ben Shapiro, like more than likely, 100%. He might be a little more flippant about the healthcare, like insurance thing, like Perry says, like, oh, well, that's your prop, you don't have it type of thing. So I'm not really into that. But when it comes to this, as far as the murder, yeah, I'm totally not with that at all. I think that this is absolutely insane. So we're going to see. And it's weird because Ana Kasparian is actually going to try to drag him a little bit because of this. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure there are other things that you really could have dragged Ben over. I don't think this is the one. Like, I just don't. But anyway, let's just watch it.
Of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Now, his own fans are calling him out for being completely out of touch with nearly all Americans who do absolutely hate our broken healthcare system. And so he published a video titled "The Evil Revolutionary Left Cheers Murder." Now, right off the bat, he's making a mistake by thinking that it's only people on the left who have been cheering on the murder or assassination of that executive. Fact of the matter is, a lot of people across the political spectrum had been either sharing that they feel no empathy for Brian Thompson or even going so far as to celebrating it. And if you take a look at the thumbnail for the video, he has an image of Taylor Lorenz, who also, was explaining why it is that people are celebrating this, or why people would want a United Healthcare CEO dead. Shapiro went well beyond.
I mean, we shouldn't even say that sentence and try to normalize it. By the way, guys, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you to every eye that lands on these videos. Now, we should not say this in normal fashion as if this is okay. Like, Taylor was just trying to explain why a lot of people would want to see him dead. You're insane if you want to see the CEO of a company dead just because the company is not working the way that the American system has made it, easy for them to not working. I don't know how else to say it. Like this, I do not believe in this at all. There's no time or there's never a justification for this kind of situation. I don't like the fact that I can't get healthcare insurance. He should die. No. I don't know what's so wrong with saying, no, this is not right. So that shouldn't even be said in a normal fashion. I think that we are so desensitized too much that we don't see when things are bizarre. This is bizarre.
On just condemning messages of joy or mockery about the shooting, that alone is totally understandable. In fact, we have done that ourselves. I don't ever want to encourage violence or murder. I don't think that's the way to solve the issues that we're having with our healthcare system. But he went to some extreme lengths to defend Thompson and the screwed up predatory system he was a major player in. Take a look.
Unfortunately, bubbling under the surface of all this is something very serious, really serious. What is that serious thing? The revolutionary left is creeping into the mainstream. The shooting of Thompson has unleashed a wave of evil from members of the left. Thompson was not a criminal. He wasn't even an advocate of death, the way, for example, abortion or euthanasia advocates are. Brian Thompson's great sin, according to these people, is that he was the head of a company that exists within a mixed private-public healthcare framework, and that he did his job. Because that's how health insurance actually works. Some things are covered and some things are not. And you may not like the application of the coverage and it may be bad. That is not an excuse for murder.
So in case you missed it there, according to Ben Shapiro, reproductive rights activists are more responsible for killing people than a company that routinely denies claims.
Are you kidding me? Is he really insane for looking at it like that? Listen, I'm not here to push my beliefs on anybody, but I'm going to tell you this. Yeah, abortion is not like just some procedure, okay? And people have a right to look at it as murder. That is a baby, period. Because it's not a parasite. Ew, I wouldn't even want, like, what is it? Because it latches on to life. Okay, let me not go, because, okay. Like, 'cause this is very, I can get triggered and then I'll go somewhere else. But, like, when people say, like, oh, well, that's not a baby, I'm like, oh, God, you are freaking me out, because what else is in my stomach? Oh, my God, is it a cancer? It's a baby, okay? Like, please, okay? We never used to have this kind of argument. Okay, coming back to it. So somebody can make that comparison. Yes, they can. All right? Period. And then some of those activists were burning down pregnancy centers and stuff like that. So miss me with this. I don't see. So, and he did say the system is bad. He said it. But that's not the guy's fault. He didn't make that system. He just went to work and did his job. So we should murder people? Oh, my God.
For healthcare coverage. In fact, United Healthcare specifically has been found to reject anywhere between 32% to 33% of claims. Keep in mind, like, understand what that means, guys. Okay, that is a ton of people who pay into the system, pay their, monthly payment to United Healthcare, and then once they need that health insurance company to provide coverage for life-saving procedures, they're denied. That's unacceptable. And I can understand the rage people are feeling at this broken system. He also hilariously suggests that Bernie Sanders criticizing the system is a form of stochastic terrorism.
This is why socialist leech scavenger lingo used by people like Bernie Sanders, if you want to talk about stochastic terrorism, if you want to talk about rhetoric that leads to a higher possibility of violence, when you suggest that everything in American life is unfair and bad and rigged by the system, when you suggest that, and then you suggest that anybody who does business is merely an apparatchik of that system, the result is a support for revolutionary violence. You're raising that temperature. It's going to stop bubbling and it's going to start bursting out into the open.
So I'm uncertain as to what Ben Shapiro expected after he put this video out. I mean, I don't think I even expected that he'd get the backlash that he's received from his own audience members, but the backlash was swift. So I'm going to give you a few examples. One of his viewers writes, this isn't a left versus right issue. It's the working class versus the wealthy, and that's probably why you're trying to pretend it's something it's not.
This is a problem. I have a serious problem with the comment that's made here. Y'all, let's everybody take a deep breath and take it back. Okay, like dial it back a bit. All right, I know it's been a hard 4 years. I get it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has their own things that they're going through. Okay, but we need to stop. Pray, take a deep breath. It's okay. We're gonna be okay. But this notion of it's a wealthy versus the working class, it's not versus to me, right? I do believe that. Look, to be honest, those insurance companies that aren't, accepting the claims or whatever like that, I don't understand why the government can't step in and pay it, because we certainly send a lot of money in for our military industrial complex. So I don't understand as far as starting wars in other countries too, because I do believe in a strong defense system, but that's not what we're doing. We're actually just sending money to other countries or bombs and everything else to other countries like Israel so that they can start wars and invade Syria and all kinds of things like that, right? So we could use that instead and cover some of these costs, right? I don't think that I'm saying anything wrong, right? Anyway, so I think it's not even wealthy versus working class, because, again, you do live in a country where you have the opportunity to get wealthy. You do. And this used to be the kind of rhetoric coming from some very low-class people. Now, if you choose not to put the work in, that's your business. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not being mean. I'm just keeping it real. Because you can't get wealthy in India. There's no way to figure out how to get wealthy in India. I don't hate wealthy people. So I'm sorry. That's just not. What do I have time to be hating wealthy people for? Okay? They got money. What the hell? Why does that bother me? So I don't like these kind of comments, because what are we about to start, like, snuffing out wealthy? Like, what's going on? No. It's not about the working class versus the wealthy. You better pay attention to what your country's doing around the world and how much it costs you. And that's the problem. So then you can go ahead and start talking to your elected officials and telling them that you will abstain votes, and boycott voting, period, until they give you the America that you're supposed to have. That's my issue. My issue is with the lobbyist groups and everything else that gets our politicians, bribes them and everything to go do stuff across the world that the money could stay here. Okay, are we ready to have that conversation? But now I'm not going to be mad at a rich man who's the CEO of an insurance company. Don't care.
Another person writes, as a conservative, I'm sick of rich elitists destroying the family unit, quite literally. I'm proud the left and right have united. I may not vote the same way, but damn it, I can agree we are tired of being pushed around. Another person writes, according to Ben, I went from Trump voter to revolutionary leftist in the span of a month. Another person writes, hate to break it to you, buddy, but it's not just the left who is sick of this. One other viewer says, imagine being so blatantly in the wrong that you managed to unite two opposing ends of the political spectrum during one of the most divided periods in recent memory. Another person writes, I'm not buying this left versus right crap anymore, Ben. I want healthcare for my family. There's more. Those are just a few examples. So, Cenk, this is something that we've been talking about a lot. There is this populist sentiment among voters on both sides of the political aisle.
So guys, first of all, told you the populist right wing is real. It's not imaginary. They're not all evil, racist, sexist, etc., whatever you're hearing on other shows, okay? So look at them rebelling against the Daily Wire. It's amazing. It's never happened before in my lifetime. So Anna and I have been telling you that this is bubbling not after the election. We started telling you before the election. I started going on all those shows before the election, right? And I did the populist plank on tyt.com before the election. So it's real. And it is, to me, it's super exciting. It's not about Trump. It's about, hey, can we find unity and real agreement with right-wing and left-wing populists? And the answer appears to be yes. So now, Daily Wire to me is the epicenter of old right-wing media. So I've broken down before how Ben frames almost every issue from the perspective of an incredibly wealthy person or a giant corporation.
Okay, I'm going to stop this here. Okay, because all right, let's let it a little bit more.
Say things like, a person wants to start a business and they've got $20 million and you can't let them blah, blah, blah. I'm like, who has $20 million that they're starting a business with? Why are we even having this conversation? Because he thinks from a rich person's perspective and his own audience is getting tired of it, okay? And I can give you 100 examples of that. But interestingly, this is really important. What is the second thing Daily Wire is known for? Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, etc. Culture wars. What do culture wars do? They divide us. So, hey, dude, remember, it's really the trans people that are the problem. And, immigrants is a complicated question, but immigrants are the problem. Look down at the people who have less power than you, right? And
all of you guys do that, okay? Stop it. I'm not doing this with Cenk. I can see why Matt Walsh went off on Cenk Uygur, and guess what? I see exactly why. But everybody is too scared to say the obvious. Let me tell you something, okay? Let me break this down. I'm going to say what they're not going to say. Okay, you want to know where all this frustration is coming with Ben Shapiro? It's coming from last year. After October 7th, a lot of people did a lot of research and they figured out a lot of things, okay? They saw his rhetoric and they saw how he was basically becoming America second, if you will. They didn't forget that. They didn't. So when you hear this whole thing about, Ben is speaking from a rich man's perspective. Ben's been rich. It wasn't a problem before, right? The thing is that a lot of people don't think that they don't think Ben Shapiro cares about America. And they have every right to think that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. None of these people, though, they're going to tell you that that's really where this is coming from. When they're telling you that the populist left and the populist right are coming together, when you hear this rich elitist thing, they're starting to look at the lobbies. And they're starting to look at, I'm serious, okay? They're starting to look at the fact that our money goes to many other places than staying home, okay? They also look at Trump, who says his presidency is going to make Israel great again. They're seeing all of this stuff, and it doesn't make them feel good. Because had it been any other country, we would have a problem with it, all right? Yeah, it goes back to that. It does. So that's what they're responding to. Okay, this notion, by the way, though, that, because he's talking from, a rich person, he tells people that, about starting businesses, but people don't got time to hear about that. No. You can do whatever you want. Look, you could be annoyed about a lot of things in the country that makes us not a sovereign nation, and that is a fact. Okay, but don't let it stop you from doing what you need to do. You can open up a business. You can get yourself. I never would have thought that I would have been on YouTube at this age. And in the name of God, I've actually been doing pretty good. In the name of God, I thank God that I met my YouTube coach. Justin does YouTube. I thank God. I just can't even say it enough. Okay, because I'm seeing a way out of the usual rat race. It's taking some time. God is good. But it's not even taking that long, to be honest, considering if I was doing this on my own, it wouldn't even be a thought. But coming back to it, where there is a will, there is a way. Okay? This is still America. For now, even we're not sovereign, but there's still things, LLCs that you can buy, get grants, Hey, you find out you have a 1%, Native American blood, and you go get a grant for doing something, whatever. Start a business, do something. You have to change your mindset and think differently. So this whole thing about being mad at wealthy people, that's not my thing. First of all, it's never been my thing, even before all of this right here. And so it's certainly not going to be my thing now. This is the one time on this issue, Ben Shapiro actually has me defending him. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.